Andrea, the significance of Māori in the economy. Why do we need Māori to be succeeding in the New Zealand economy? It may sound like a daft and easy question, but tell us why.
I don't think it's a daft and easy question at all, actually. I think there's a number of complexities that are involved in this. And if I could just pick up on the point that Lisa made, if we look 20 years ago, if we look at the type of roles and positions that our parents held, the majority of our parents worked for the government. They were employed. We didn't have a great deal of Māori actually owning or operating their own businesses. And I think what's actually happened over the last 20 years, and education has played quite a vital role in the way that we now pursue our futures, in the respects that, for example, if you look around this panel, we're all educated. We've all got certain qualifications coming out of our ears. And that's actually played quite a vital role in how it's, I guess, changed us in the way that we look at going forward. So absolutely, I don't think it's a daft question at all. I think that really where we are at is actually, as Eru said, this is the tip of the iceberg. There's still a lot more yet to come. What I think is exciting, though, is that if you do have a look at the panel, is that there is quite a great deal of years of experience and knowledge right here, right now. So you can imagine in a room where we have 50, 60 people, imagine all of us working together as one unit. Imagine the growth for Māori economy then. 36 billion, that would just be a drop in the ocean. So I think the key here for us is to really look at what are the core elements that we need to ensure that we are taking on board and as our responsibility in going forward. Are we actually doing what we should be doing and laying the foundation so that future generations can follow us, just like our future generations? I mean, if I look at my father and I look at the challenges that he had growing up and what he had to sacrifice to put me through, my brothers through, to put us in the point where we are now, can I look back quite honestly and take responsibility from a leadership perspective and say, have I laid the right foundations for my future generations? And I think that's something that individually we need to take on board. And
we'll talk further about that too this evening. Christian, as a business owner, as a business manager, at that grassroots level, what does all this mean to you?
Well, you want the Māori edge? Well, I am it in this piece.
Kia ora.
There it is. So, speaking, and I'm going to tone my confidence down a little bit, but...
No, we love it, we love it.
There is no other, I'm it. So, who's going to lead the show? It's me. I've been showing that from when I was a little guy. You know, who showed me? My tupuna. They said, boy, the world is yours. You get out there and you make it happen. No one else. I don't ride on the back of anyone. I ride on my own back. But I'm taking with me is my boys, you know, is my crew. We're putting shows on in this country as good as anywhere in the world. They roll in here from all over the world. They, you know, you name it, who's been to this city, in the biggest venue in this city. And they'll come and they'll see me from years of travel that I've done overseas. And some of these production managers will see who's there. Straight away, the recognition is there. How do you put a dollar value on that for a venue like Vector Arena? That's what I'm saying, you know? So I know who I am, I know where I'm from, and I take that with me in the world. And that's the dollar value. That, how can you buy that? Oh, how can you get that? So that's the Māori edge, and that's where I'm coming from. But I'm proud of who we are, and the future is developing that we have, right? That's intrinsic in who we are. And where that comes from, well, I think you can pull it out of the universe. My well-being and my future resides within me to create from the universe. My health, my company, is from that. Without that, I'm no good to anyone, you know what I'm saying? So I've got to look after this body, this spirit, and this mind as a cultural paradigm, but the economics will follow. That's the way I see it. I don't focus on the economics. I focus on who I am as a person. Human beings is my business. So I will interview some crew. You guys want to roll? You got to be like, but it's not about what they can, it's about who they are, more importantly. And that's what I'm going to focus on.
Kia ora.
So that I have that, and I have that faith in that person that when we're doing something, we're involved, and you know, we do some crazy stuff. We don't sit at desks and we don't sit in an office. We're out on the edge, you know. So when we're in that environment, we need to be able to rely upon the guy next to me, and we put our lives in each other's hands. So that determines the respect and the fellow, you know. When you look at someone in the eyes and hold them in their being, you know that they're 100% behind you. That is why we can do what we do, I believe.
Kia ora. Heta, a lot of potential business owners, if you like, put their hands with you guys, with your company, your consultancy firm, in terms of trying to help them develop their businesses.
Yep.
What are you seeing on the ground with business coming through, Māori business coming through? New and emerging business, I suppose.
Well, we're lucky in the sense that we get to work with a variety of different businesses at different levels. So the issues that are pertaining to how iwi are developing versus trust and corporations, down to guys like Christian, allow us to sort of, I guess, find some traits that we would see make successful business people. And obviously one of them is confidence. Oozing it, which is good. You got to have it. I mean, confidence, but I guess a better word is passion. Yeah. At that Māori individual entrepreneur level, if you have a passion for what you're doing, there's a higher degree of likelihood you will be successful, because it's that passion that gets you through the hard stuff.
Is there... We've definitely got that passion and confidence in the room here tonight. That's cool. But is there... What sort of passion and confidence is there out there in the big world? Amongst Māori?
Yep, amongst Māori. I guess a lot of the sort of clients that we work with, they really believe in what they're doing. And either they've developed something from scratch and they want to see it succeed. And another thing we sort of notice a lot is, that I notice working with Māori clients in particular, is they tend to have a wider agenda. It may not necessarily to be the richest person in the world. It may be so I can set a good example for my children by running my own business, taking care of my own family and all that sort of thing. So people have different I guess, different reasons for becoming business people. Probably the other thing that we notice around sort of traits of success, and what I perceive to be a true entrepreneur, is the ability to identify opportunity and turn that into a business. So they may look out into the big bad world and say, oh, no one's doing that. People would love it if there was something to help them, with their own businesses, or to develop a new product. So those people are quite rare. Even more rare is those who are able to commercialise that idea and grow it successfully.
Lisa, Heta's touched on some of the challenges facing Māori entrepreneurs. What are some of them, in your opinion, and some of those issues that you've seen?
Well, there have been a number of challenges, and once again, it depends on what stages of what stages of business growth that they're at. Now, usually with the start-up businesses, the common challenges are usually lack of systems, lack of business knowledge and acumen. So that's where their education becomes a key, and usually lack of capital. They've got an idea.
I was waiting for that.
They've got a passion, but have no putia. So those are the main challenges that I see for start-up businesses.
Are there any unique challenges to Māori, or that Māori sort of face?
I suppose that what I see is sometimes when, particularly Māori businesses, what Heta had said before, their motive, it might not necessarily be profitability, the motive might be actually a social motive, where they see businesses being a vehicle to achieving the social motive. So it's about, for many Māori, it's about bringing their whole family with them. It's not just about themselves. And so that's some of the unique challenges that I see with Māori, is trying to balance that whole, family responsibilities with their professional business responsibilities, but at the same time, trying to motivate, encourage your own whānau to actually get up out of bed and get to work. So those are some of the challenges that we've observed, particularly with a lot of Māori-owned businesses, yeah.
Andrea, working at Oka as well, what sort of, in your experience, what sort of challenges have you seen that Māori are facing in business?
Definitely the same that Lisa's actually mentioned. That and what I find is that for many of them that have a fantastic concept that they want to take to market, just reiterating a little bit more on those on that social element that goes with the building of the business, what I find is actually sometimes they're held back by their own family members as well. It's that whole, who do you think you are, getting above me? That whole tall poppy syndrome scenario. I think there is a great deal of that.
Why does that exist, do you think? Is that just us as Māori, or is that us as people? Do that whole tall poppy syndrome?
Gosh, I couldn't answer that question, to be honest. And the only reason why I can't honestly answer that question is because I've been quite fortunate that my family haven't put me through that while I was going through my building of my businesses over the years. In fact, they were very supportive of everything I did. And I just think, once again, a bit like Christian, I mean, Christian and I grew up together. We, our fathers worked very closely together up north in Kaikohe. So we've known each other for quite a number of years, and like Christian, I think my family just realised that I was going to do it anyway. I was hell-bent to go the direction that I wanted to go, and it was either, well, get on board with me or get out of the way. So I was actually quite fortunate in that respects. Why does the tall poppy syndrome exist? I think a lot of it is driven by your own personal fears, your own personal insecurities.
Colonisation has done that to us, put us as a colonised people.
Yeah.
We were always fighting to get above the water, if you like. We're fighting for the same dollar and all those sort of things. I mean, we've seen the change in our society now. Look, when I got my doctorate, there were 6 of us, 6 Maori PhDs. Now there's over 500. That's how far we have come. It's quite amazing. And the passion that you see here is the passion that's out there. Out of our 36 billion, 20 billion are small businesses. Everyone thought it was the iwi, only the iwi, but no.
So just say that again for us.
Out of the 36 billion of the Maori assets base, 20 billion is actually small businesses, and they are the self-employed, as well as the middle-sized business and so on, and they're all Maori oriented.
Because I think the perception has always been that's the big ngaitahus and the tainuis
exactly right.
that make up that bulk of that wealth.
And they do make up a big part of it. Let's be clear about that. But $20 billion worth of Maori small businesses is so exciting.
So there are a lot of Maori businesses out there.
And they're doing well and with a passion. In fact, you remember 3 years ago, Maori women were placed 3rd in the whole 30 OECD countries for entrepreneurship. They got this award. Maori women did that. Isn't that amazing? And so it just shows that, yeah, we're out there, we're doing it.
With your hat as Minister of Māori Affairs, and we look at this great wealth that we have, 36 billion, you talk about 20 billion worth of small businesses. Why are we so down with everything else?
Because we've got a lot of work to do, Shane. We've got a lot of work to do. We've come through, and one of the areas we've come through is our confidence, our togetherness, our haputanga and tribalness. All that is getting really strong. And now with economy that's strong, now what we have to do at some stage is to turn back and look after those who are vulnerable. The pani me te rawa kore.
Because it doesn't make sense.
That's right.
We're sitting on this wealth, if you like, and yet our kids are still living in poverty. Well, our whānau are still struggling to make ends meet.
And that's what we have to do now, is to turn back to them and start insisting that we all get on the education train, because there should be only one median wage for New Zealanders, not one for New Zealand and one for Māori down here. So when there's a recession, we're first off and last back on. That's got to change. And the only way we can do that is actually by focusing beyond ourselves, but through the whānau, back towards supporting our families to get strong.